All right.
The far left mic doesn't need to be on.
There you go. See, and now we're on. Don't worry about that.
So we don't care about levels on this?
because we're on right now.
Not working.
Is it not working?
I did it right.
Are we on? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live?
How does that sound? Does that sound good, guys?
Are we live? Okay.
Who knows?
Yes.
Yep.
They're all on.
All right, are we live on the Facebook?
Yes, you are.
Okay,
Yeah, we are.
We are live on the Facebook. It's Kramer and Amy, and get the hell out!
He's the one that put this whole thing together.
Yes, Louise. Tearing it apart. Greta Van Fleet, welcome to the radio station.
Hey!
Where were you guys last night?
We don't know. I don't know where we are right now, actually.
Yeah. No, seriously, where were you?
We were in. No, seriously, we don't.
Were you were in
Sam.
We were.
Cincy because you were in Columbus tomorrow, right?
We were in Columbus.
Tomorrow's
Tuesday?
Cleveland.
Tomorrow's Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay. I have to tell you, I love your band. I mean, genuinely, and Amy, I can talk for her too. I know she loves it. And we're playing the single. We've been playing, I don't know, for 3 weeks, maybe a month or so. And it is so great. The vocals, man, I mean, unbelievable. And you guys are young. You're a young group of guys, right? Like, how old are you guys?
Well, me and Josh are 21, and Sam and Danny are 18.
Well, I mean, how does that, like, I always wondered, like, you know, you
Old
hear...
enough. I'm just kidding.
But I always wonder, like, I mean, I remember when I was 18,
really creepy. I'm
19
sorry.
No, it's all right.
I had to.
But she meant it, though. That's the thing.
Stop.
We're illegal. The whole world needs to know.
All right, show them your titties. Go ahead.
We're not doing that.
But no, I always wonder, like, what is it like to be on the? I mean, I mean, it's got to be a blast. It's got to be fun. You know, you pick everything up, and you got family with you, so you just travel all over the country and play music, and that's got to be a great.
Partridge Family.
That's got to be a great life,
Just
right?
like it.
Yeah, just like it. No, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, other than when we get pissed off at each other, and then, you know.
You're all stuck.
How do you guys travel on like are you on are you in a big tour bus?
No, just a van, trailer.
17
Still?
van.
Yeah.
Trailer,
You know,
Stop it.
It's kind of like, that was the best game plan, you know, if we wanted to do that to that instead of this, and then, I don't know.
It's not a normal van.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so you really are traveling in a van.
It's a
Yeah, we are.
DeLorean.
But dude, it's. I mean, you're on the cusp. I mean, it's about to happen, where you get the big tour bus and all that stuff.
Well, we're gonna stick with the van as long as we can.
Yeah, we don't like
cheaper.
the buses.
It's cheaper. It's
Exactly.
fun.
Buses
It's
are-
financially
Oh my
responsible.
God! Who cares? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, the bus would be too big. I don't think we're a fan of it, you know. There's too much space.
There's too many girls that you can fit on there. So we're like, nasty, get out. We'll be with the van.
We'd rather have a time-traveling DeLorean, to be honest with you.
So how is the tour going, and how are people responding to you? By the way, I read today you guys play for 3 hours per show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not on this tour.
Nah, not on this tour.
No, we used to do like 4 hours. And
Oh
then-
my God!
we used to be booked for 4 hours.
Yeah,
Then we
like
would
2
play
days
for
in a row, and
5.
at that point, it was like, but it was, I think people would always have us because they could get us in a bar and we would play for 4 hours. We go from 10 to 1 or something.
We were booked for 4 hours. Sometimes we'd play 5, but that's how you get good. You know, just play
And it was
every weekend.
like,
we're
we
playing
can do
5-hour
that. Let's
shows.
try to take one break when everybody has to go piss in the middle of the show. You know, we did it. We pulled it up. It was like, oh, that's cool. You know, but
Yeah.
It's rigorous training, I suppose. Is what that
Well,
Yeah.
would you rather play like bars, or would you rather play like bigger venues? Like,
Well,
what's the
What the hell
what's
kind
the
of
funnest
question
part?
is that?
the more,
What the hell kind of question
All right,
is
fuck it,
that?
I'm out. This guy's a douche. I'm out. Good-looking, young, rich prick.
I don't know.
I'm teasing, man. I'm teasing.
Well, of course you want to play a bigger room.
Because, you know, then you're connecting with a lot more people. And
I know, but, you know, I do hear musicians go, you know, like the friggin' Stones, they'll go, oh, we love going back to the clubs, you know, Motley Crue, we love going back to the clubs. I just wondering if that was, you know.
Honestly, after we played a lot of like festival things where there's like 10,000 people, we went back to the Viper Room, and it holds like 200. So, you know, it's hot and sweaty and have all these people packed into one room.
It's not impossible. It's
awesome.
certainly not impossible to connect with everybody in a very large audience. It's but it's a lot. It's a lot it's a lot more difficult than it is to, connect with people in a small room.
It's like the two different
so
things.
they're two different things.
Yeah.
They're very separate in their own.
But they're both fun as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys are. How long have you been at this? Like
5 years or so.
Well,
So
it's
like
you talking about how long we've been playing?
Yeah, how long have you
individually?
guys been playing? I know, but yeah, 5 years
as a
5 years
band
together. Yeah.
as a band.
Yeah.
Wow.
Danny is the newest member.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Right.
the newest
Yeah.
one.
4
And
years
how long
new.
have you been in the band?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years new.
So,
But what I'm trying to put
math,
together is
since
like
you were 13.
I was 14 when I joined.
You were 14. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, seriously. I mean, to be
That's
that
crazy.
skilled, that talented. I mean, you guys are an anomaly. Do you know that? You guys are really something. Sorry, I'm like the mom. You guys are really something. You're going to really do something with your lives.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you so much.
Seriously, to hear your sound, it's so
and
polished.
plus it's unique too,
Yeah.
which is like a huge thing. And Amy and I are always bitching about music, about new bands and new
Constantly,
music.
we're terrible. We sit on the front porch and.
Oh
yell
yeah,
at-
I mean we're like two old biddies, sitting around because I mean it's what we're passionate about. Obviously, we work for a radio station, but and to hear. By the way, Highway Tune is how old? I mean that's an
5
older.
years. I think that was like the
song
first
we ever
song we ever wrote.
Wow, how did it take so long for that to come about?
I don't
Because
know.
we never recorded it.
That's really
And I was like
interesting.
12 years
It
old.
was kind of like they initially.
What's that?
I was like 12 years old when we wrote that.
Really?
Sorry,
Just put
I'm
that
just
into
beating my head
perspective.
up against the.
That's pretty crazy.
I was
remember
happy to
taking
pass.
my dad's old harmonica amplifier and sitting down and putting the riff together for the first time because we were like, when we got together, we're like, well, if we want to do this seriously, and then we have to start writing our own material, And I think
we
all
never
looked up
thought
to.
we were going to do it serious.
Yeah, no, we
No, we
didn't
never
really,
set out to
but
do that.
so we had to write our own music, and I think that we all looked up to a lot of people that were great arrangers of music, great producers of music. So we wanted to write our own music, and that was one of the first songs that we came up with.
Did you grow up in a family of musicians? I mean, was this just something that you?
Yeah, we were always around music.
Yeah.
My father was big into music and plays, He's like blues, really.
But
But
my
we would,
grandpa's in the Polka Hall of Fame.
yeah, fun fact.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Michigan
Really?
Polka Hall
I
of
don't
Fame.
know. So we grew up around that kind of stuff, and we would always go, out. There was in the winter, about like February or something, when it was really cold and just snowy. We'd go. My family it was a trip we would do every year where we would go to these cabins. Yeah, Gun Lake. It was in Yankee Springs, West Coast, sort of like Michigan kind of thing. And it was.
I love how everybody shows on the hand where.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an easy way to do that. So we would go there, and it would be like friends of my parents and a bit of family, and it would be just all of this music, just making music, and we would bring all the instruments and have this big warming house, and there would be all of the different cabins,
Wow.
and you'd make music, and we would fall asleep on the floor under the tables with this full set band because we were so exhausted from having all this fun, and we'd get up and we'd do it again,
Wow.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Sounds like
it
fun.
is. Yeah.
And for some reason, we go
my
back
family
every year.
played putt-putt last week. We didn't go on a trip.
That's fun.
Badass.
Putt-putt's good.
I can't even think of anything fun that we used to do. We never did anything like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, so I was noticing we were talking about radio before we went live, and you guys, did you grow up listening to modern rock music, or did you listen and were influenced by older classic stuff? Because I don't want to be cliche. I mean, there is the spirit of Robert Plant. And some of the music and the vocals are just right there. So was that a conscious thing?
Probably, yeah, to some extent. It was that was the way I could get more power out of my voice. And it was it was just there and it was natural, but I, obviously had to sort of craft it so that it wasn't destroying my throat,
Right. Plus, for doing that for 3 or 4 hours, holy crap!
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
See, you learn quick how to adjust,
Yeah.
But I was listening to Wilson Pickett and Sam and Dave and Joe Cocker, and so that stuff was really cool. So I always was kind of singing in a way,
Yeah.
But I, was doing musical theater somehow. I don't know. It was just natural. It's oh, that would be fun. So I was doing that in high school, and initially I wanted to be an actor or a filmmaker, but it was well, this just seems to be working, so I'll go with it.
Well, there might be something later on that you can pursue. I'm sure.
It was until Jake and we had this sound that we were doing that it was a conscious decision I made to this is how it has to sound. This is how I'll have to sing on this, and it's just natural,
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of things would be natural for someone's voice if they wanted to do it, you know?
So, how was the road?
I can sound like Ian Asbury in the shower.
Hey,
I can. But, yeah.
showers have the best acoustics.
They
I figured out
do.
that is why people sing in the shower because they sound better.
Just sonically
Good
better.
resonance in there.
Yeah, you have a little reverb.
I play
a little light reverb.
I play the acoustic in the shower sometimes.
I set my kid up in the shower.
Plug it in and see what happens.
Yeah. My neighbors love it. My neighbors love it. You know, they're like, oh, there's Amy. Ian Asbury again.
How's the road? How is the road treating you?
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Who
great.
has AIDS at this point?
All of us.
Everybody, yeah.
Good for you.
Long time ago, I interviewed Incubus, and they came into the studio, and I was like all pumped, and I was like, okay, yeah, you know, what's it like being on the road? You guys got groupies, you banging chicks, and they go, no,
Kramer.
what? I'm telling you, it was a long time ago. My prior life. And I go, you know, so what's it like? And I was expecting this really cool answer, and they go, after the show, we go in the back of the bus and sip tea, and we make different teas, and I was like,
You
man,
have
this
to do that
sucks.
because you can't get burnt out.
Sounds
I mean, you go
awesome.
out there and you're like,
does
"Wah!" you know, doing all kinds of crazy
Oh,
stuff.
no, well,
The next thing
dude,
you know,
these
you're
guys are right at
burnt
that
out.
age. No, go get burnt out, and then tell me so I can live vicariously.
They have a long career ahead of them. Wait until you're about 40.
I feel like the
And then do
cops
it.
would show up like right now if we would have just kind of let it all go. We'll save it for the book.
There you go, right.
Write
Yeah.
the book. Yes, you all will have a book to write
The
someday.
advantage we
I'm sure.
have is that we can learn from all the guys that suffered from alcoholism and drug
Yeah.
abuse.
And hearing loss.
And hearing what?
I mean,
What did you
I
say?
don't
To
know.
be honest, all that just scares the shit out of us. You know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, that's a good thing. I think that's, you know, it's like if you're going to ride a motorcycle, if you're scared of it, then you're going to be safer. So, you know, doing
Right.
that, recognize that is
It's
really
just like
cool.
in wood shop when you're building a cabinet and you're afraid of the bandsaw because you might get your finger cut off.
It's also how we handle interviews, right?
Yeah. I think that's a
How many
good
fingers do you have? Hang on, let's see.
He's like,
Wow, you guys were good at shopping for the cabinet, not the clock.
Well, you guys, obviously, I mean, you're on your way. You're on your way, and we're really enjoying watching the whole process, and much love. Hey, are you guys riding on the road? Is that fairly easy, or do you kind of like to go, you know, to some other place to ride?
think
when we can, we do, but it's so absolutely so busy that it's difficult to even have time to ride at all on the road.
Yeah.
like 0 time.
Back in the old days, we used to write while we were playing sometimes.
But you know, do you feel pressured to? Because I wouldn't. I'd be like, hey, we're focusing on this album, and we're going to do this tour, and then we'll go and write. Unless you feel inspired, I guess. You know, while you're
Yeah,
on the
that's
road.
There's a lot of
thing.
inspiration on the road.
Writing has to come organically. You don't
Yeah.
set time to write.
Right.
I don't feel like
It
it's
just
very
comes
effective.
up. I mean, if you've got the itching for it, it's like, all right, I've got this idea, you know, and it'll just come from anybody. I'll bet this or that, you know, and at any point. But it's not. I mean, I think that we best write when we have sort of a silence in the air. You know, it's like and not much
calm,
Like right now.
Right.
to be sort of like somewhere, especially in
There's going to
nature.
be
I love that.
There's going to be a song on their next album called "Weird Middle-Aged DJs." Giving life advice.
Oh, no,
I don't know who you're talking about. It's funny. He's so funny. He's so funny. Come on, show him your boobies. Show 'em.
I thought you were going to hit me. Take me.
All right. Well, so we'll let you guys go. Where are you going to be next? Oh, I got to ask the cliche question. Where did the name of the band come from? Where?
Dang,
Greta-
you know what?
So far.
so close.
I hear that it was about a woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the quick story on that? Is some woman that?
Well, the original drummer, he was out.
He wasn't as good.
He was. Fair, you know. I want to reveal all the secrets.
a lot of pressure to say that.
That's how this thing's going. No, anyway.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of like he was out for lunch with his grandfather, and we had this big gig the next day. And his grandfather said, "I'll drop you off at the garage to practice for tomorrow and everything." And I've got to go chop wood for Greta now, Van Fleet. And he said, so he dropped him off.
Was that code for something?
No, this is
We grew up in a woodsy area.
You chop wood up in Michigan. That's what people do up there.
Oh, okay.
I smuggled the kids, and they're in the van. Wow. Greta van Fleet.
Exactly. No, so he goes, what do you think about that name? We took the N out because it was, going to happen anyway. They're going to go, oh, Greta, instead of Greta. I know he's going to catch on to that. So that was the name, because we had to have the name for the next day at the first show we ever really had. And we had been going through all kinds of them and thought, that shit. So we'll stick, stick to it. It's not totally crap, so it's good enough,
And it passed the Google test.
It did pass the Google test.
So it's an actual lady. So it's an actual lady who lives in Frankenmuth, where we're from, and she's been there for a long time, and she's like an older lady.
And she's a musician.
One of the town elders,
So she is a musician. So we were playing like downtown at the Hall in Frankenmuth, and the name was on the marquee, and all of these people were calling her saying, "You're playing at the Hall." So she had to come down and see what was going on, and then there was us.
Oh, so she came to the show?
Yeah, she sat through most of the thing.
And gave us
like
a 2-hour set, loud rock and roll.
Prior to me in the band, and I sat next to her in the audience.
And she's in her.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
She's in her 80s. And she sat through a very loud,
rock and roll
2 hours.
You guys should put her in a video or something.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. Yeah. We
That'd be
gotta
fun.
go see how she's doing.
She's been interviewed, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they went to her house. News went to her house.
Oh my God!
We're like watching the news. And we're like, what? Wow.
Oh, she didn't choose this life.
I know.
That's awesome.
It was a pleasure meeting and hanging out with you guys, and the best of luck, man. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Likewise.